Have you ever felt the crushing weight of anger, resentment, or pain caused by someone who hurt you deeply? What if I told you that letting go of that weight could be the key to unlocking your freedom, your peace, and your happiness? We'll dive into the profound and transformative power of forgiveness. You'll hear stories that inspire, discover why forgiveness is as much a gift to yourself as it is to others, and learn practical steps to free your heart from the chains of bitterness. Stay with me until the end, because this journey might just change the way you see forgiveness forever. Have you ever felt like you're carrying an invisible weight that no one else can see? Maybe it's anger towards someone who betrayed you, or sadness from an apology you never received. Imagine trying to climb a mountain while carrying a backpack filled with stones. Every step feels heavier than the last. Now, what if I told you that many of us live our lives this way, burdened by something we can't see but feel every single day? The name of this invisible weight is bitterness. Bitterness doesn't just sit quietly in the corner of our hearts. It grows. It consumes. And if left unchecked, it can control every decision we make, every relationship we have, and every moment we live. But here's the good news. There's a way to let it go. In this video, we'll uncover why bitterness can be so destructive and explore the life-changing freedom that comes from forgiveness. Together, we'll walk through personal stories, practical steps, and spiritual insights that will help you let go of the past and embrace a brighter future. Stick with me to the end, and I promise this message will change the way you view your life and your heart. Understanding bitterness. What is bitterness? Bitterness can be compared to a root buried deep in the ground. On the surface, everything may look fine, but underneath, it spreads and entangles itself in ways that can damage the foundation of your emotional and spiritual well-being. Think about this. When someone hurts you, it's like planting a seed of pain. If you don't address it, that seed grows into bitterness, a plant with thorns that pricks not only you, but everyone around you. How does bitterness affect us? Bitterness isn't just an emotion, it's a thief. It steals your joy, your peace, and even your health. Studies have shown that harboring resentment can lead to stress-related illnesses, insomnia, and even depression. Take this personal reflection. I remember a time when I couldn't forgive someone who had wronged me deeply. I thought about them every day, not because I cared for them, but because their actions consumed me. It wasn't until I chose to let go that I realized how much power I had given away. The invisible chains of unforgiveness. Picture this. You're tied to someone with a heavy chain. Every time you hold on to bitterness, you're pulling that chain tighter, keeping yourself bound to the very person or situation that hurt you. But the moment you forgive, you break the chain. You set yourself free. Real-life scenarios. The betrayed friend. Imagine this. Sarah and her best friend, Emma, shared everything. One day, Sarah discovered that Emma had spread a private secret to others. The betrayal left Sarah devastated. At first, Sarah decided to cut Emma out of her life completely, but the anger didn't disappear. It showed up in her relationships with others. She became more guarded, less trusting, and angrier over time. Forgiveness doesn't mean reconciling with someone who broke your trust. It means releasing yourself from the anger that holds you hostage, the unspoken apology. Then there's John, who waited years for an apology from his father. Every missed birthday, every harsh word added to John's resentment. But the apology never came. John realized that holding on to bitterness only made him miserable. He chose to forgive his father, even without an apology. And in doing so, John found peace, not because his father had changed, but because John had. Lesson: sometimes forgiveness isn't about them. It's about you. God's call to let go. The Bible calls us to forgive, but let's be honest, it's easier said than done. In Matthew 6:15, Jesus says, "But if you do not forgive others their sins, your Father will not forgive your sins." At first glance, this feels like a tough command. Why should we forgive someone who doesn't deserve it? But let's dig deeper. Forgiveness is an act of faith. It's trusting that God's justice is greater than our own. When we forgive, we're not saying that what happened was okay. We're saying that we trust God to handle it while we move forward in freedom. Practical steps to forgive. Forgiveness isn't a single moment, it's a journey. Here's how you can start. Acknowledge the pain. Denying the hurt only buries it deeper. Take time to reflect on what happened and how it made you feel. Pray for guidance. Sometimes forgiveness feels impossible. That's when prayer becomes essential. Ask God to soften your heart and help you release the pain. Release the offender. Forgiveness doesn't mean you have to trust or reconcile with the person who hurt you. It means releasing the hold they have on your emotions. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to bitterness. Focus on the blessings in your life, and you'll find that the weight of resentment begins to lift. Transformation through forgiveness. When we forgive, we don't just set others free. We set ourselves free. Consider this. People who forgive report feeling lighter, happier, and more at peace. It's as if they've dropped a heavy burden they didn't even realize they were carrying. But forgiveness isn't just about personal growth. It's a reflection of God's love in our lives. When we choose to forgive, we mirror the grace and mercy that He shows us every day. Why forgiveness is a superpower. Let's dig deeper into this incredible journey of forgiveness. Why does it feel so impossible, yet hold such transformative power? Why do some people find it liberating while others wrestle with it for years? Let's explore more stories, perspectives, and actionable steps to make forgiveness not just a lofty ideal, but a reality in your life. The emotional weight of forgiveness. Forgiveness often feels like a battle between the heart and the mind. Your heart says, "I want to let go," but your mind constantly replays the hurt, like a broken record you can't turn off. Think about the last time someone hurt you deeply. You might have found yourself replaying the moment in vivid detail, imagining how you could have responded differently or how they should have acted. This mental loop is exhausting. It drains your energy and takes up space in your thoughts, leaving little room for joy or peace. But here's a revelation. Forgiveness isn't about erasing the memory of what happened. It's about taking away its power to control your present. Let me share something personal. There was a time when I held on to bitterness towards someone who had wronged me at work. Every time I saw them, my stomach churned and my mind raced with angry thoughts. One day, a mentor told me, "They're living rent-free in your head, and the only one paying the price is you." That hit me hard. I realized that forgiveness wasn't for them, it was for me. The science behind forgiveness. Did you know that forgiveness has measurable benefits for your health? Studies from institutions like the Mayo Clinic and Harvard Medical School reveal some fascinating insights. Lower stress levels. People who forgive experience reduced levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. Better heart health. Forgiveness has been linked to lower blood pressure and a decreased risk of heart disease. Improved mental health. Those who let go of grudges report fewer symptoms of anxiety and depression. When you forgive, you're not just making an emotional choice. You're making a physical investment in your well-being. Why we resist forgiveness. If forgiveness is so beneficial, why do we resist it? The answer often lies in fear. Fear of appearing weak. Society sometimes portrays forgiveness as giving up or letting someone off the hook. In reality, it's one of the bravest acts you can perform. Fear of vulnerability. To forgive means to confront your pain and admit that someone hurt you. That takes courage. Fear of losing justice. Many of us hold on to bitterness because it feels like our only form of justice. But here's the truth. Your bitterness doesn't punish the person who hurt you. It punishes you. Thought experiment. Imagine holding a burning coal in your hand, intending to throw it at the person who hurt you. Who gets burned first? You do. Bitterness is that burning coal. Forgiveness is dropping it before it harms you further. The ripple effect of forgiveness. When you choose to forgive, you don't just change your own life. You create a ripple effect that touches everyone around you. Story. The power of forgetting a parent. Take Lisa, for example. She grew up in a home filled with anger and neglect. For years, she resented her mother, blaming her for the struggles she faced as an adult. But when Lisa became a parent herself, she began to understand her mother's struggles in a new light. Lisa chose to forgive, not because her mother asked for it, but because she wanted to break the cycle of pain. That decision didn't just heal her, it transformed her relationship with her own children, teaching them the value of grace and understanding. Forgiveness as freedom. Forgiveness doesn't change the past, but it does change the future. When you forgive, you reclaim control over your narrative. You stop being the victim of your story and become the hero instead. How to forgive when it feels impossible. Sometimes forgiveness feels like too big of a mountain to climb. But what if you could take small steps instead of trying to leap to the summit all at once? Here are some practical ways to move forward. Start with empathy. Ask yourself, what might have caused this person to act this way? Understanding their perspective doesn't excuse their actions, but it can help you see them as human. Write a letter you'll never send. Pour out your feelings in a letter to the person who hurt you. Don't hold back. Once you've written it, you can choose to tear it up, burn it, or keep it as a personal release. Find a support system. Forgiveness is a journey, and you don't have to walk it alone. Share your feelings with a trusted friend, counselor, or spiritual mentor who can guide you through the process. Focus on what you've gained. Every painful experience carries a lesson. What has this situation taught you about resilience, self-worth, or boundaries? Forgiveness and faith. For those who believe in a higher power, forgiveness takes on an even deeper significance. In Colossians 3:13, we're reminded, "Forgive as the Lord forgave you." This doesn't mean forgiveness is easy, but it's a call to trust in a divine plan that's bigger than our pain. When we forgive, we reflect the heart of God. We choose love over hate, peace over turmoil, and freedom over bondage. Closing reflection, a challenge for you. As we come to the end of this journey, let me leave you with a challenge. Think of someone who has hurt you, someone whose actions still occupy space in your heart and mind. Take a moment to write their name down. Now, next to their name, write one thing you wish to let go of: anger, resentment, disappointment. Commit to starting the process of forgiveness today. Remember, forgiveness doesn't happen overnight. It's a choice you make again and again. But with each choice, you'll feel lighter, freer, and closer to the life you were meant to live. We've explored the weight of bitterness, the freedom of forgiveness, and the steps to take on this journey. The truth is, forgiveness is hard, but it's worth it. Here's the lesson. Forgiveness is the key to a life of joy, peace, and freedom. It's not about forgetting the hurt. It's about reclaiming your heart from it. If this message has inspired you, take the first step today. Write down the name of someone you need to forgive and start praying for the strength to release them. Let's choose forgiveness together and live the lives of peace and purpose that we were created for. Forgiveness isn't always easy, but it's one of the most powerful decisions you'll ever make. It's a choice to reclaim your peace, your strength, and your life. As we've explored today, forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, excusing, or condoning. It means setting yourself free. So, as you move forward, I challenge you to take that first step. Let go of the pain, the anger, and the resentment. Your future deserves it. And remember, the journey of forgiveness is one of healing, growth, and ultimately, transformation. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video inspires you to embrace forgiveness in your own life. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more empowering content from our channel.